US Navy tested the world's first laser weapons system the other day. This system of directing energy as a weapon is based off Nikola Tesla's work, which he attempted to share with the US military during the last decade of his life. Tesla, too, had experimented with lasers or rays, but his experimentations showed that these rays disperse with distance, just like the weapon above does. So Tesla went in another direction and used microscopic particles in his defense weapon instead, which he coined particle beam. Tesla's device was a natural extension of his high-frequency work after he produced 100-foot-long sparks, or artificial lightning, in his laboratory experiments. The next step was to control and direct this energy as a weapon. The device he proposed was an open vacuum tube that could charge small or large particles to millions of volts and project these highly charged, non-dispersive particles through free air to bring down hundreds of enemy airplanes. The Tesla weapon would be more destructive as opposed to just heating the target point. Particle beams would have inertial mass being beamed along with high-energy photonic phase conjugation. Tesla laser is actually made up of several lasers. The weapon combines multiple fiber laser modules to form a single, powerful, high-quality beam. This is only a prototype, and Tesla intends on scaling it to 60 kilowatt. The 60 kilowatt version is due in 2022 and expected to be mounted on an adapted Army truck, essentially putting the laser on wheels. Multiple fiber lasers could be scaled to up to 500 kilowatt, which should provide an extraordinary punch and dramatically alter the course of the battlefield. There would be no need for ammunition, just a very powerful energy source. And since laser beams travel virtually instantaneous, they would provide a significant tactical advantage. Tanks, aircraft, battleships could all become seriously challenged in the future. We're entering a new age of warfare. The time for futuristic laser weapons is almost upon us. Of course, the weapon's main focus is defensive rather than offensive. The laser can defend against small rockets, artillery shells and mortars, small unmanned aerial vehicles, small attack boats, and lightweight ground vehicles that are approximately a mile away. It's still a bit too close for comfort, but this is just a stepping stone for even greater things to come. As fiber laser power levels increase, our systems will be able to disable larger threats and do so across greater distances. The Navy envisions it being used for precision and covert engagements, starting fires, and what it calls graduated lethality. The Navy envisions it being used for precision and covert engagements, starting fires.
The world's first airborne directed energy weapon, the airborne laser, also known as the ABL. Just mounting the ABL requires one of the most sophisticated and elaborate modifications in history. The entire nose section is removed and retrofitted, and the world's largest titanium plate is installed to hold the enormous turret-mounted laser in place. The ABL system is designed to find, track, and destroy an enemy target in the air and on the ground. It can loiter at 40,000 feet for 5 hours, refuel in midair, and destroy a target 60 miles away in less than a second.
That's crazy! That's crazy!
Or green or something like that. Real lasers, one of the key advantages that they provide is that they are invisible. You actually can't see them. You just see this damage suddenly starting to blow something up. So if we take a look now at what the Athena did to a truck. So we're looking at a truck engine, and the Athena within seconds was able to beam right in there, heat the whole thing up, and burn through the engine of this vehicle. So if you can imagine if you were in that vehicle, all of a sudden, this hole would start appearing in your engine, and the whole thing would just disappear. That's what these lasers do. Now, there's some other key advantages that we should mention. Let me give you 3 of them. 1, unlimited ammo. As long as we have power, we have an unlimited magazine. And downrange, of course, having unlimited ammo can be a huge advantage. Second, it's silent. You don't give the enemy any advance warning that it's coming. And then the third one I wanted to touch on is that it travels at the speed of light. So not only are we delivering powerful, decisive
directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
Directed energy weapons, also known as DEWs, are weapons that deploy a highly focused energy beam, including lasers, microwaves, and particle beams. After decades of research in the United States, defense contractors announced back in 2015 that these systems are expected to come online by 2020, and are currently announcing that they are ready to deploy in the field. Russia, China, India, and the UK are developing directed energy weapons as well, and Iran has had them in use since at least 2013. In 2019, Turkey was the first to officially deploy this technology in combat, when they claimed to have shot down a Chinese-made drone supplied to the Libyan National Army. On September 16th, Defense Secretary Mark Esper announced that China and Russia have already weaponized satellites with directed energy weapons.
Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing have turned a once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
And for the past few years, many have wondered if these advanced weapon systems have anything to do with the unprecedented fires we have seen in the past few years. Laser-based weapons are able to destroy the target with external heat, and microwave weapons are designed to penetrate the target through external antennas and sensors and ignite the internal electronics, destroying them from the inside out. This could explain how thousands of homes have rapidly burned into their own footprint, while the trees surrounding them survive. And it could explain the several cars we have seen utterly destroyed, with temperatures hot enough to liquefy glass and metal. Michael Janich, host of the YouTube Dutchsinse channel, has been researching the Earth's seismic activity for the past 10 years. During the past few weeks, he has discovered satellite imagery that show an equal distance spread of fires, all starting within the same 4 hours.
4 hours, we've got ourselves an equal distance spread of fires. Here, 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 and here. So, what could cause an equal distance spread of fires? Well, only two things, Mother Nature or man, right? There's no storm in the area. You can't blame a storm. So, what could cause equal distance spaced fires to spread out across, what do you think that is? 1/3 of Idaho?
And he also discovered what looks to be a beam of light that can be seen in the infrared spectrum, like a microwave. On September 8th, a beam of light can be seen directed to the Dolan Fire of California. The beam appears to excite the heat signature of the fire as it is held on target for over 2 hours.
Right before dawn, watch that. This is yesterday, going into this morning. This is in California, the beam coming from space up above Oregon, or somewhere in between this and Oregon. And as it's going through, see how it excites? As the beam is spreading, look how it excites. It's no doubt about it. And the beam spreads first. Look, beam spreads first. It goes from a tiny, little, tight beam to a wide beam. Then the fire spreads to a wide fire.
The next day, a beam of light is seen directed at and exciting the heat signature of the Holiday Farm Fire in Oregon for over an hour.
Here it is now, and it's two of them. And it's only going to one fire, a different fire. And it's moving. Okay, it's moving. There's clouds going through it, which rules out it being an artifact. The clouds are passing through and interfering with the beam.
Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing have turned a once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
The timing of this public admission is interesting. These weapons of the future are now officially being deployed. Are we currently being attacked with directed energy weapons? And if so, by who?
The Department of Defense spends about $1 billion annually developing directed energy weapons, such as high-energy lasers and high-powered microwaves. These weapons can disrupt or destroy their targets at the speed of light. For example, DoD has developed high-energy lasers that have successfully shot down drones, but speed isn't their only advantage. They're also less expensive per use than traditional weapons like guns and missiles.
어떤 머신을 이용했어요? Может, просто вы...
Once confined to the imaginative realms of science fiction, laser weapons teeter on the precipice of altering modern warfare forever. Unleashing the power of light speed and unconstrained by ammunition or conventional kinetic defenses, laser weapons herald an era of unparalleled effectiveness and sheer devastation. As such, the US Navy has meticulously crafted its laser solutions to dominate the fierce battleground of the high seas. In a recent development, the Navy and its partners unveiled their state-of-the-art cutting-edge laser beams in blistering action to the world. The footage showcases the laser weapon mounted atop the US warship USS Portland. As a high-speed boat menacingly approaches the warship, the energy weapon locks onto its target and then fires. In the conventional footage, no beam is visible, only the boat succumbing to the unyielding energy of the weapon. However, the searing light beam is revealed in a series of infrared images, cutting a path from the weapon to its ill-fated target. Though widespread use remains on the horizon,
What the?
With Casey Wong. Top story, Santa Barbara. 10,000 acres of wooded residential land were scorched in an instant when a laser cannon aboard the Strategic Defense Peace Platform misfired today during routine startup tests. Casey?
Yes, it was a day of mourning for the families of 113 people known dead at this hour. Among them, 2 former United States presidents who had retired in the Santa Barbara area. A day of mourning for a country.
Can a laser cause property damage from a satellite in space? Let's say on a small island in the Pacific.
Good luck. Look at this. Holy shit, this is a nightmare. I don't know where he's going, probably to block our street. They're gonna fucking barbecue all these people down in Lahaina. We're all trapped down in here. They're blocking off all exits, and everyone is just stuck, going in a circle in a fire pit.
Western Maui, at the northernmost part of this fire.
Or green or something like that. Real lasers, one of the key advantages that they provide is that they are invisible. You actually can't see them. You just see this damage suddenly starting to blow something up. So if we take a look now at what the Athena did to a truck. So we're looking at a truck engine, and the Athena within seconds was able to beam right in there, heat the whole thing up, and burn through the engine of this vehicle. So if you can imagine if you were in that vehicle, all of a sudden, this hole would start appearing in your engine, and the whole thing would just disappear. That's what these lasers do. And the Athena, within seconds, was able to beam right in there, heat the whole thing up, and burn through the engine of this vehicle. So if you can imagine if you were in that vehicle, all of a sudden, this hole would start appearing in your engine, and the whole thing would just disappear. That's what these lasers do. Imagine if you were in that vehicle, all of a sudden, this hole would start appearing in your engine, and the whole thing would just disappear. That's what these lasers do. In your engine, and the whole thing would just disappear.
In your engine, and the whole thing would just disappear.
Look at the tires. Non-existent. They've all melted. But yet, do you see the lines still on the streets? Do you see the streets aren't really touched much? There's still center markings on the roads. Does anyone know at what temperature aluminum alloy melts? I'll tell you. 1,220 degrees on average. Do you know at what temperature asphalt melts and at what temperature asphalt evaporates? Asphalt melts between 130 degrees and 343 degrees. Above 343 degrees, it turns into vapor. But yet, the roads are fine.
The lines are all there. They haven't disappeared, but yet everything else is destroyed. The trees are still standing.
All right, I got a question. Does this look familiar to anybody? This isn't Maui. No. Oh, no, this isn't Maui. This is Canada's British Columbia. West Kelowna, who have been dealing with raging wildfires. Look at that damage. Does it look familiar? Here, let me help you out. This is Maui. This is Canada. Maui, Canada. The city of Kelowna is also Canada's first 5G smart city project. This launched back in 2020. Oh, come on!
So today I want to talk about the fires in Hawaii and the fires in Paradise Valley, California. Now my heart goes out to anybody who's lost family or if their house has been destroyed because of this. This was a direct energy weapon assault on the people. And I say that because my friend in Hawaii, which I'm going to show this picture here, showed a laser beam coming out of the sky directly targeting the city. This is really important to be aware of because when we look back at Paradise Valley when they had their fire, we see a lot of similarities such as the trees still standing, which is very interesting for a fire. Now with this whole entire thing, the mainstream media is going to say that this is climate change and that we need to do better, but what's not going to be talked about is the weather modification projects which take place in the United States every single day, spraying aluminum and barium and strontium up into the sky, which if you think about it, aluminum is a very, very flammable material which could result in something like this or something like this.
So as a former funeral home owner and licensed funeral director for over 2 decades, I worked very extensively and closely with our local crematory. I was taught by that crematory that they need to cremate in between 2,000 and 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So the question is, how hot were those fires to be able to incinerate or cremate human remains? We know that it was at a higher level than 1,500 to 2,500 because it melted the rims on the vehicles.
Up, but none of them were moving. And I walked all the way from Safeway to the chart house. Not one car had moved. And I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. Well, it was a policeman. And I got to the end and I looked up north. There were no obstructions. There was no reason to keep those cars there.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as a heart attack. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm under orders to keep them here. And I said, the fire is right around Safeway. It's going to hit Front Street. You know, these people got to get out of here. And he said, I'm following orders.
No way.
And so I just kept walking. Well, maybe he knows something I don't, you know. So, and I keep walking down the highway, and I look behind, no cars are coming out. I walked all the way to Waikuli Beach, still no cars coming out. And I started hearing boom, boom, boom. And then I heard people screaming and stuff.
You're saying they were blockaded in by the police at the end of Front Street?
Yeah.
Like where the restaurant is?
Right, where the chart house
Where the chart house was, I should say. There was a blockade there and they could not go any further.
Right, I walked.
What the hell?
I walked all the way from Safeway to there, not one car had moved. And people walking in front of me, the people in the cars are saying, would you like a ride? And they go, oh, okay. And they'd get in. They asked me, I said, no, you better get out of here, you know. But they just, well, we were told to evacuate by car. Okay. So I just kept walking, and I got all the way to, like I said, the Civic Center, and then I started hearing all the explosions, and there was no one walking behind me or on bicycles or anything.
Today we learned that the Maui massacre was the introduction of the Mark of the Beast, because they used a laser that can't penetrate this color blue, and this color blue has a hex color of 666, and measured in hertz is 666. So you can take the mark and protect yourself from the laser. This is their Lions Gate portal ritual. Never forget the Maui massacre of 2023, where anything blue at 666 never got burned.
Operation Blue Roof and the FEMA Self-Help Program, while similar, use two different materials. Both programs help reduce further rain damage to homes and provide temporary protection for the roofs of residential structures damaged during severe weather. The sheeting for Operation Blue Roof are installed by a contractor, overseen by the Corps of Engineers according to certain specifications. The material is a rolled polyurethane sheeting with fiber reinforcement. It's 10 millimeters thick and measures 20 feet by 100 feet. It's used for major impacts to roofs. The sheeting is 100% waterproof. It is also tear resistant, UV resistant, and fire retardant. The FEMA self-help tarps are installed by the homeowner. The material is thinner and not as resilient as the plastic sheeting. It typically measures 20 feet by 25 feet with grommets to allow for a tie-down solution. These blue tarps are used for minor roof repairs and are more of a patch solution. To sign up for the program, you can call 888-ROOF-BLUE. You can go to blueroof.us, or you can go to one of our many sign-up locations.
Like, seriously, are you guys fucking awake yet? Look up the 2030 agenda. Maui, Vegas, it's a cover-up. There are reasons trees and umbrellas didn't burn, but houses did. Why did all of the blue items, I'm sorry, I'm shaking right now because I'm just mad. I'm so mad, and people need to wake up. People need to wake up. The blue items all over Maui, they weren't damaged. None of them. But yet, cars are liquid metal. Liquid metal. Doors are not open like people were trying to escape. Police were blocking them in. They didn't sound the alarm and admitted. The governor of Hawaii was at the United Nations speaking. He was the head speaker of the smart cities that was approved July 16th. And now Maui just burned. Open your eyes. We're going to lose everything. Everything that our forefathers died for. Everything that we stand for. And if you care about your children and your grandchildren, we need to do something now. Right now. Everybody better pray. Because shit's about to get a lot fucking worse. Mark my words.
Today, I haven't had any money come in. I haven't had anybody call me back. I didn't have anything. I have no idea. I lost my house. I lost my car. I lost my animals. I mean, come on, man. We're not getting anything. Till today, I still didn't get my meds. I cannot get my meds yet. My medicine was all burnt in my house. My rent money was all burnt in my house. I have no money anymore. I think Joe Biden should take his $700 and get back on the fucking plane and go home. That's what I think. Because $700 compared to all the millions he's giving to Ukraine, why? We need it. That's why we don't understand why. We're citizens and we cannot get money. But if they're not citizens, they get gazillions of dollars from the USA. Where's our government? Fix your house before you fix somebody else's house.
This is how, like, your community, other Hawaiians you know, locals, indigenous people, is that how they feel, pretty much how you feel?
Everybody feels that way. Come on. That's why the local people stick together and we help our own people, because we know the outside people are not going to do it.
While others are whispering about directed energy weapons. But there's just this glaring coincidence one cannot overlook for this particular fire. AFRL's Directed Energy Directorate is the Department of the Air Force Center of Expertise for Directed Energy and Optical Technologies. They specialize in directed energy weapons that harness the power of the electromagnetic spectrum to enable airmen to effectively and affordably strike critical targets, all at the speed of light. According to their website, the AFRL Directed Energy Directorate operates 2 major telescope sites that are used to advance SSA technologies. One of these sites is located on the Kirkland Air Force Base in New Mexico, and the other site is located on, you'll never guess it, the other site is located on Maui. The Maui site is called the Air Force Maui Optical and Supercomputing Site.
It's hard to give $200 billion to Ukraine and only give $700 to the Hawaiians. But if you want to mass murder and depopulate, have a post-industrial world, and bring in neo-feudalism, it's what you got to do. And a lot of times when societies are hit by a super tyranny, and they hadn't previously faced one, they don't know how to deal with it because they can't believe it's happening. But we're at that point. This bad thing is happening to all of us. Whether you live in Australia, Germany, Canada, the US, Mexico, it's the same New World Order, the same projects, the same people, the same operation. It's a big global operation, but if you know its plan, it's easy to beat if you simply oppose everything they say and do. And the good news is, in Lahaina, the silver lining in that firestorm is nobody, and I mean, I don't think anybody is buying this. And the government's got their tail between their legs, but they're still not helping people. They're keeping the media out.
I don't know. I wish
yes,
I knew
you
the
do.
answer.
How many children are missing? You know.
I wish I knew the answer to that. I would be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess
Nothing?
we can end this right now if you guys want. Sorry,
This is one of the biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have, but you don't want to answer.
It always takes one or two to ruin it for everybody. Please, this is our first only.
Well, we could say that about you. You ruined it for everybody.
You're welcome to say it. You're the media. You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay. Please.
You've been the worst mayor we could possibly imagine.
You won't even wait.
Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to shout over these guys that are legitimate.
Why don't you give them the real answers then? Give them the real answers.
That's not his question.
Let him.
Yeah. You can go. Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not going to ask that question. How many of these pretend cadavers are?
The Maui department, okay?
The press show is over.
Yeah. So he's not going to answer my question.
Thank you.
Yeah, take pictures of me.
There's no need for hacking.
You're with Maui Police, right?
Yeah, he's done with the press conference. I appreciate your patience, sir. Yeah.
Get out of my way. Who are you?
With the Maui Police Department.
Okay, and what's my crime? You're literally pushing me.
The press conference is
I
over.
don't f***ing care if the press conference is over. Get out of the way. I'm sorry. All right, so Sir, 110 cadavers, but we can't identify. We can't identify how many of them are children. This is get out of my fucking dude. Get off my throat.
Relax, sir. Relax.
No, I'm not gonna get.
Relax.
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna relax, dude. No, I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm trying to ask a fucking question, and we can't get the answer for it. How many of the 110 dead are children? You know who are children. They're cadavers. You have the bodies. You know how many of them are children. How many children are dead?
Step back, please.
How many children are dead, Mayor? So you're just
please.
not going to...
Oh, sorry.
There seems to be a huge emphasis on ensuring that the media and anyone else can't see what's going on here in Lahaina, West Maui. There are miles and miles of this black fence going up that was not here before, that is obscuring ground zero and making sure no one can see what's going on inside of there from the road. No one can get in there. No one can take any pictures. And then I've also seen these weird foreign police cars showing up, these special police, I'm not sure what to call them. This is a Nissan, but there's quite a large presence of these standing guard around the perimeter. We've also lost our ability to fly drones really anywhere near this area. Now, this 20-second clip here that I tried to get out of my car and show what was going on, I was almost immediately, after these 20 seconds, National Guard came, chased me off, yelled at me, told me to get back in my car and keep moving. So you cannot pull over, you can't even stop your car anywhere near any of this anymore. Now, I'm going to show you a fairly long clip that shows just how extensive the fencing is on the western side of the main highway here. And there also is National Guard regular police and what I have dubbed special police, which are these police cars that are foreign made. The people that are driving them are not, they don't look like any police I've ever seen in the United States. So kind of a bizarre situation, but they have a huge presence standing guard, ensuring that nothing can be documented. You can't stop your car, you can't pull over, you can't fly a drone, you can't take a picture, you can't get in anywhere near any of this, which is part of what makes the footage that I have so unique. Now, I always make sure to point out that the footage that I have has been uploaded to the mainland to multiple people. They have the credentials to my social media, so if anything does happen to me, it's not going to prevent the story getting out. But the footage I have both on the ground and drone, but particularly on the ground, is not going to be able to be reproduced with the amount of resources they have put into locking this area down. Now, I am working on another video now that's going to show side by side this same drive a week ago, so you guys can compare the, what it's like now, and you can see just the amount of fencing, rocks, police, barricades, all of the effort they are putting into this. They are putting a lot of energy into it, which is kind of interesting. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on it. Now, I also want to point out that the reason I've been able to keep cranking out these videos and somewhat neglecting my normal job, my income from my normal job pretty much went away weeks ago when I started all this. The reason I've been able to do that is because I recently put my Zelle in the bio of TikTok, X, and YouTube, and I've had a handful of everyday people making small donations via Zelle, and that has made a huge difference with allowing me to neglect my normal job. And I love my normal job, but if I can focus right now on resisting the attack on freedom and resisting the attack on the First Amendment and getting as much of this information out to you guys as quickly as possible, that is absolutely what I want to do, and that is absolutely what I will do. So thank you so much to everybody who has supported me in that way. You're making a big difference, so thank you for that. And also to all of the people who have kept this story alive by subscribing, by following, by liking, by sharing, by commenting. All of these things have a big impact on the algorithms. So you guys are the reason why this has so much visibility. So thank you so much for that as well. Now here in these clips, you can see the presence of police, including these, what I've dubbed the special police. And you can see all these guys standing guard on the perimeter. And this is not even really the perimeter. This is quite far away from what burned and from ground zero. So apparently they are concerned that somebody will park or stop their car on the side of the road here and go hiking for miles into this area that's just ashes and rubble. So it's very interesting the amount of effort they're putting into this.
Do you understand? Only those who disobeyed survive. Do y'all understand?
The little land. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Let the night wind through the little land. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little land.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. And the reason why, and
so many people said they could have been saved if they had time to escape. Had a siren gone off, they would have known that there was a crisis emerging. And as we know, so many bodies were found in the ground. As
Do you want him to give you the answer?
I do, but I want to
let him finish his
I'm
answer.
sorry, there's a lot of people.
Well, you're talking and you're not letting him talk. If you want to talk, come up here.
My God, can it be true? The same coroner from Las Vegas, the biggest mass shooting in American history, is in Maui with the same police chief that won't talk?
Hey, you want to see some crazy shit? Shit decent.
People here. So maybe it's different for you because you just got here, huh? So it's not the same. It's not the same. No comment? You have to look up on
No comment right now, guys.
No comment?
Yeah.
I'm not talking to the chief, sir.
Yeah, I understand.
Why doesn't he want to speak to the people? Only to a camera.
You can give your statement later.
No, we called up. We've been looking for him. I thought we were going to do Top Story Tuesdays all over the island. Why are you shaking your head? Why are you shaking your head, sir? You don't want to answer, huh? Okay.
We'll talk to you another time, guys.
Yeah, you won't talk to us another time. That's the thing. It's a very cowardly move. It's shocking. But you're not from...
Good afternoon. Welcome to the nation's Constitution Center. I had the great privilege of being a guest.
And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn, that turn,
We are a community that relies on family,
and rub my leg down.
on
So sit and watch the hair
whether
come
by
back up again.
blood
Hey,
or
look
by
at it. I
friendship.
learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
But
And
like
I love
many
kids jumping on my
others,
lap.